Welcome back to Ancient Future on Sweet Soul Synergy TV. We're continuing our conversation with Jeannie Francis, Master Gardener and Herbalist. And we're also here with our Fire Cider, which we have displaying. Let's talk about Fire Cider.
Yeah, Jeannie, this is a great liver detox, especially for this time of the year. Can you please tell us what's in this?
Well, what's marvelous about this is it's a multiple of things. Not only is it a liver cleanser, but it helps boost your immune system. When we have a cold or the flu, what most people don't realize is that our liver needs to be in top working shape to flush that out. But if you do medications or over-the-counter medications, that slows down your liver. So in this is a marvelous mixture. The name was coined by Rosemary Gladstar, who was one of the original members of the American Herbalist Guild. And then I've added more herbs in here, which I think boost this fire cider. So I call it Herbal Fire Cider. So in here we've got lemons and oranges and ginger, garlic, onion, hot peppers, horseradish. Then on top it's milk thistle, dandelion, and nettles. So these are all things that not only flush the system, but build your immune system. Because in order not to get a cold or a flu, you have to just have a strong immune system. So we love making this Herbal Fire Cider. I do also sell it, but I love people to have this in their own refrigerator because we never get sick on Tuesday afternoon when the doctor's open. We get sick on Sunday night, and I believe that we need to have these things on hand so we can start healing ourselves.
Absolutely.
So this makes a wonderful vinaigrette. Okay. This is great for marinating meat.
So you're cooking with it also.
Yes.
Very nice.
Meat, vegetables. Some people do it just in a shot, but this is also wonderful, like a shot of it poured into a hot cup of water to make a tea. That's very flushing. It is also great because there's hot peppers in it, it clears any congestion in the lungs, and horseradish clears any congestion in the head.
All I can think about is marinating that right now. And with some food. I can't stop thinking about
salad.
it. I know.
I've even taken a little bit of this and put it in sour cream and taken it to a party as a dip.
Goodness, that's a great idea. And it takes you a while to make this.
Yes, we put it together. It's not hard to put together, but it needs to sit for about 3 or 4 weeks to blend everything and to pull all the phytonutrients out of the...
And how long does it last?
Probably forever.
Well, you have to refrigerate it though, right?
I keep it refrigerated, yes.
Okay, very nice. All right, let's move into talking about organic and pesticides. So can you tell us a little bit about why it's so important for us to have organic herbs and organic foods?
Pesticides.
What do pesticides do to our body?
When people spray pesticides or herbicides to kill weeds or to kill bugs, it goes into the earth, but it also goes into the plant. Then when we eat the plant, or our animals eat the plant, or our animals, if you have dogs or cats, are walking across it, it's now going right into the body.
Or the grains too as well.
The grains. It's in everything. It's very scary because I can't figure out, even in my little brain, how we're going to undo this.
Right.
I think we've gone to a place where we can't change it, but we have to eat as healthy as we can. So I tell people to be aware. Don't always go, if it has it right on the front package, it's usually the buzzword, turn it over and
read
the ingredients. Know the companies, research the companies.
The farms,
We're very lucky to have computers so that we can find out that information.
Yes. In Canada, they outlawed Roundup several years ago. Cannot use that product. You cannot use any pesticides on your ground.
I always cringe, and I have a lot of neighbors who use these pesticide companies.
Oh my goodness.
It's so scary to me. I don't let my dog walk on their lawns, which they're probably happy about. It just makes me cringe. I'm like, and then that has to travel. Of
course, if it rains, where is it going to?
It's going into the earth. It's going into your yard.
And it's one of those questions that when I sit and think about that, I don't know how we're going to undo this.
Right.
But we need to be aware.
Absolutely.
Because we have to take care of our own health. Nobody else is coming along to take care of that.
Right. Health is really our responsibility. I know that we discussed this before about, there are doctors that are getting on board. There are people who are getting on board to change things, but we have to be responsible. It starts with us.
And we have to do the research.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to do the research because I'm sure that a lot of these farms that are branded organic are maybe not 100% organic. And are they being visited by the FDA or whoever certifies organic?
Right. And are
Well, that's my
Is
question.
it really organic?
What is organic?
Yeah,
And
what is
how
organic?
can we be organic at this point? When you've got planes flying overhead,
Right.
when you've got
Chemtrails, yeah, everything.
cars exhaust, how can this be? And when I train my herbalist, one of the things I say to them is watch where you harvest. Nothing along roadsides, nothing along polluted waterways. So we're very observant of where it is that we are getting these plants from.
You're also probably restricted
Yes,
in a way,
yes,
especially here where we are.
yes.
absolutely.
Just because 50 years ago we weren't very observant of what we were doing with things.
Right.
I have a neighbor who, when I first moved in there, he was always giving tune-ups on cars. And he would take the oil plug out and let it drain right into
Oh,
the
boy.
yard.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And it's funny because there's now another neighbor there who keeps trying to grow grass in this spot. And I'm like,
No,
Not
it's
so
going to
polluted.
happen. Yeah.
It's so polluted.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about taking care of the soil.
It is. It's about
Yeah.
taking care of that earth that keeps
Yeah.
us
I
alive.
have a similar
Absolutely.
story. A friend of mine had a beautiful home built and became very sick with MS, lost 2 or 3 of their pets within a couple of years, and found out that the property was built on an apple orchard. So the ground is filled with arsenic.
And Apple, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Jeannie, can we go into your story now and talk about those powerful moments in your life? I feel like you've had a couple very powerful moments in your life. Can you talk about those however you want to begin with that?
I tell people my story just because when they hear it, they kind of sit back and go, whoa. And the way I talk about it is because it's how I feel. I am very lucky. I am the very first adult with a very rare children's cancer. I had Ewing sarcoma. And in the year 2000, I was given 12 weeks. It's been a long 12
Yes.
weeks.
And we're glad you're still with us.
And so the first oncologist that I went to was an older gentleman who then started telling me how he was going to cure me. And so I explained to him that our body is an alkaline body and we live in an acid world. And cancer grows in acid.
True.
So I knew I needed to take my body back to alkaline.
Yes.
And when I explained to him what I was going to do, he kind of looked at me very strange and then he said, I'm not taking on anybody like you. And I said, I didn't say I was coming here.
Touche.
Yeah.
For you.
So my very first formal job, besides babysitting as a teenager, is I worked for a woman named Emily Ford in Cinnaminson. She was a raw foods vegetarian. And what I did is I juiced vegetables all weekend and I made up certain recipes in baby bottles. She would give me the recipe and these were then frozen and given to people with cancer and I saw them live. So I knew that I needed to go back to what I knew. And I was very lucky because this was in the days before I had a computer at home. And I sat with the yellow pages and I said, I know I got to find an oncologist, God, but you know the name has to jump out at me. It's got to be somebody that can handle somebody like me. So I'm turning the pages and I'm talking to God. And I turned this page and there was a little square there and the woman's name was Dr. Tamara Locatour. I said, if you can handle a name like that, you can handle me.
That's
So
fun.
I called up her office and I said, I know this isn't protocol, but this is what's going on. So I went in and I met her and she had not ever had anybody that had Ewing sarcoma. I was her very first one. So then I told her what my protocol was going to be because she got protocol from Children's Hospital and
Yes.
Johns Hopkins. And I said, I will go for localized radiation. I know you can see this cancer in my blood. And because I hate blood tests, I get myself so worked up that I pass out before the blood test. So, but I'll be a big girl.
Me too.
I will be a big girl and I will do this. And so I went in and I told her that I needed a blood test first because I wanted to find out where my alkalinity was and where this was.
Yes.
And she kind of looked at me and she said, okay. And then I said to her, I've already had 2 near-death experiences. If this is my 3rd, it's going my way. And she said, okay. And so that's what I did. I did go for radiation. And then after the radiation series was done, I went for blood tests and she said, I see nothing. She said, but I'm afraid. And I said, how about I go for a blood test every month? When there's a problem, we will come back and we will do this. So what I did is I ate raw for about 18 weeks.
Were you juicing?
I was also juicing 62 ounces of raw green bean juice a day because that is the most alkaline vegetable.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. Green beans.
Green beans.
Well, I love green beans,
Me
so
too.
So
need to eat more of them.
I think I want some green beans.
I know, can
marinated
we?
in the fire
there
Exactly.
you go.
Yeah.
There's some pick.
Sounds like a great idea.
So I know that I don't think my the way that I went is for everybody,
But it was
but
for
I
you.
did it my way.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'm still here today, and I only go once a year for a blood test.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's body is different. I mean,
Absolutely.
we are similar, but everybody's body is different. And I've had conversations before too with other people where we've had the same conversation. It's like you can't fit everybody into the same box, and we have to stop doing that.
So I have a little bit of an off-the-wall question, but still does pertain to this. Granted, all of our bodies are different, but do you believe that through DNA and through our ancestors, we have inherited some of their disorders or,
Absolutely.
you know, their medical maladies?
Yes.
Not just main things like cancer, but, you know, an alkaline body or an acidic body. Or, you know, you should be eating this because my grandmother had it, my great-grandmother ate it, you know, and so on and so on. Should it
I do.
follow that trail?
I believe it does. And I think also then our foods with that DNA changing and we putting that in also gives another wedge for these diseases to crop up.
Right.
Right. So combining this with our mental work, which is another big component of it,
Yes.
we should be able to get our bodies back into homeostasis.
Our bodies want to be there. And when we open the door and give it the right things, it will go there.
Yes. I think we have a couple more minutes. Can you tell us about the other change that you had in your life?
So after going through a bout of cancer and being scared to death,
Of course.
I did some not good things to myself. I have a friend who has survived breast cancer, and she gave me a T-shirt that says, you know, Breakfast of Champions, and on the back was a bottle of Coca-Cola and Reese's. So I did that
Oh my
for a
goodness.
while, and I put a lot of weight on my body.
And is that more like stress eating?
Yeah, there's an emotional component
Oh,
to that,
absolutely.
of course.
I
right?
was not dealing with the emotional part.
No.
I was alive, but I still was not dealing with the emotional part.
Right.
So I did a lot of eating. I did a lot of emotional eating. I put on a lot of weight. I had then gone to a doctor just for a checkup, and the doctor looked at me and he looked down at the chart and he says, Jeannie, you need to lose over 100 pounds.
Was that a shocker to you?
100 pounds? Oh. You know, losing 5 pounds was...
It's hard.
100. I don't know what I'd do if
I
someone
know.
told me I had to lose.
And so that doctor sent me off to a gastric bypass doctor.
Oh, yeah.
He then looked at me and told me, oh, I was underweight. I had to gain 30 more pounds to get the surgery.
That's horrible.
And I thought, this isn't where I need to be.
No.
So I went home and I had one of those deep talks with myself, and that I had to get myself into better shape. So I started, sounds crazy, but I started walking. And I live in an area near Riverton, the river. And so I would walk at 5:15 in the morning because I didn't want anybody to see the fat lady walking.
Oh, that's really
And I took most of this weight off with walking, 90 pounds
very
of
nice.
walking.
That's
Best things you can
beautiful.
do for
That's,
your
I
body.
love hearing that.
Eating clean, eating healthy, mentally. It was really mental. It was all about changing my mindset. So walking in the morning, I had headphones on and I was playing, you know, meditation music and positive
Affirmations.
positive
Yes.
affirmations. And that got me through. I also ate just clean. I cut out all sugar, all white flour, anything that was processed, I don't eat.
Good.
Very good.
So this is what I used to look like.
Just incredible, really, truly.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congratulations.
It's so easy to just go have surgery. Well, I don't want to say easy, but it's an easier choice for people that don't really want to do the work, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's some cases where people that just, you know, physically they can't do it because of medical conditions, but you are living proof that, you know, if you're determined, you can really do this and take care of yourself the right way.
Absolutely.
So, congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think that's where we'll wrap this show up. So thank you so much for being in tune today. And we look forward to the next episode of Ancient Future. See you later.